Good morning, Rabbi Isai. Leilui Nishmasim Mimaros Yosef Mordechai. Rabbi Isai, check this out. Two emotional stories, similar actually, from the same day. Here's a tzaddik, a bacher in a yeshiva, going through chemo treatments, and he got hooked to the daf, and he had a dream to say over a shir, one shir. So his chaverim got together, they printed out all the pictures and everything, and he gave a shir in the famous yeshiva here in Eretz Yisrael. Shlomi Zayins, you know Shlomi Zayins from Ami magazine, put this on his status. Finally, some quality time with Hashem. Thank you, Hashem. Here he's learning the shir. Dear Rebelli, the truth is I wanted to send an email just a few days after I joined the shir, but I thought it was too early. I felt I should wait until I see if it sticks. Today, after over 90 days, and following our meeting at Bet Shemesh, I feel I can finally write to you. I studied in classic Litvish yeshivas with the well-known Iyun method. Over the years, life took its course, and I hadn't learned Gemara since leaving yeshiva, carrying a bitter taste for it. Years later, I embarked on a journey of self-discovery to reconnect with Torah. I felt I needed a reset. I found myself learning everything but Gemara, Chumash, and Muna, and so on. The shit began when I started learning Orach Chaim on the weekly parasha, which I highly recommend for anyone feeling lost. This brought me to this past Erev Yom Kippur in a moment of introspection, and I thought about how to move forward this year. I came across a status about Yeshir. We enthusiastically were inviting people to join Yesh Neuchlan. Just before Yom Adin, it felt like a sign from Hashem. It's exactly when I was contemplating how to grow this year and which commitment to take on for the day of the Yom Adin. Your status appeared just at the right time. I decided to join the shir. Within minutes, I was swept away by the sweet taste of Torah that you teach. It was exactly what I was been searching for the past 12 years. My 12-year journey had come to an end. I had found the desire of my heart. I tried to understand what drew me so strongly to Yeshua. After all, I'm the last person to get excited about anything. I'm skeptical of every opinion, group, or idea. But then I attended the emotional siyum, and after speaking with several participants, I understood there are people like me, there are individuals with scars from their past. Through you, they have completed their search. There are people who are thirsty for unfiltered, authentic Torah without pretense. There are people who need a connection to Torah that comes from a place of true attachment. It goes without saying that since I joined, much has changed in my home. Shabbos feels different, life feels different. Just this week, my son woke me up at 9 p.m. after I had accidentally fallen asleep saying, Abba, wake up. You need to mark the chart that you learned today's daf. Thank you for the transformation you brought into my life. For the first time, I've also completed Chumash Bereshis with Shnayim Mikra V'Echad Targum. So mazel tov to all those who finished Shnayim Mikra. Today is a great day, Sunday, the first day of Chumash Shmois. Is that seat available, by the way? The one next to you? Mendy. I see. Okay. I thank Hashem. I don't know where he is. He's somewhere. I hope he finished. I thank Hashem for sending you to me and continue strength, blessing, success in Torah. Oh, it's thirsty and needed with gratitude. Your student David from Adam Binyamin. Adam. How do they call it over there? Adam. Shalom Aleichem, remind me your name.
Israel Ruft.
Israel Ruft from Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Shalom Aleichem, guys.
How you doing?
Baruch Hashem. Welcome back, Tzaddik. Where do you live now?
Renana.
Still in Renana. You going in there?
Yeah.
Givalde. Who? You here in Eretz Yisrael?
My daughter's getting married Thursday.
Wow, mazel tov, mazel tov. Who are these tzaddikim next to you? They're not related. Ah, what's your name? Schwartz. From? Stop. Your father's here? You came by yourself? You walked in here? From where? You live in Daled? Daled Echad. Very nice. Shalom Aleichem. Another crazy story. The best infusion. There are barely Beryl Steinerman from Clifton, New Jersey. I just want to thank you so much for investing your time and energy into making such a well-produced and engaging Daf Shir. I started Daf Yomi 5 years ago in Brachas, Daf Beis, and learned independently. Recently, my oncologist told me I needed chemo and I was nervous I would fall off the bandwagon. I decided I would not let that happen and started Yeshir near the end of, I guess he means Baba Basra or something. I recognize how useful and engaging the charts and quick vartlach you throw in to keep the Daf flowing nicely and not feel too long. Some people comment how they feel that they're not learning since the daf goes too quickly, etc. I think if I had just done your share, I might have felt similarly. However, I realize that for myself, I need to see the daf inside, either before and or afterward, and combined with your share, I come to a real sipuk. The geschmack you give is a vital part of my limud and really keeps me going. Attaches a picture of me learning Sanhedrin Chav Gimel while getting chemo this morning. The best infusion ever, Beryl Steinerman, Clifton, New Jersey. Psh, you should have a Refuah Shelaima, Beryl. One more, for good luck. It's not so late. Rabbi Bernard, you're making a bar mitzvah? When?
Shabbos.
Do I know? Mazel tov, mazel tov. Our children went together. He's from Chicago. They went together. Cheder, whatever you want to call it, school. Gewaldig. They're belly in the ganze mishpucha. I can't believe this is my third daf anniversary. I started learning Megillah. Here's the picture of Penny Taub and Shimmy Braun. Penny is on the left. Shimmy Braun from the Matzah Bakery is on the right. Yeah, from the Shabbaton. Started learning Megillah during a very challenging time in my life and has truly transformed my life and my family's as well. My son Mati Taub and my son-in-law Shimmy Wise both joined me on this journey, and they're now also riding the MDY train. The daf has made me a better father, grandfather, and Jew. Over time, I not only learned the daf after not opening a sefer in 30 years, but I now attend minyan every morning, have a shir in Chasidus, and do Shnai Mikra. I feel like $1 million. We made a kiddush for him. He had a grandchild that week, and he left his mishpacha, and he came with his son-in-law, and we made the whole Shabbaton was for him. You didn't chap? That was his kiddush. Starting the daf with all of you was such a life-changing experience. I didn't realize until now that I began learning Megillah Daf Beis on my 25th wedding anniversary. I got married on the 10th of Tevis after breaking the fast. I can now say that Eli Stefansky, Yossi Klein, Shimmy Braun gave me the best silver wedding anniversary gift, one that I will cherish for life. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Penny Taub, Staten Island, New York. Gewaldig. Boys, last night we did a raffle for the, what is it called? Tractoronum. How do you say Tractoronum? ATV. And it was a little fixed because the guy that sits right next to me every single night in the Hebrew share won. Yoav Yalkov. Balaam loved it. I called him Nekiya Das Yerushalayim. Why? Because the night before, they all showed up with these shirts. They called themselves the Nekiya Das Yerushalayim, and they threw everybody. They said they can't sit next to anybody because they're Nekiya Das. The Olam is living the shir. Gewaldig. Rabbi Yisai, we have 5 Masechta sponsors. Yesterday we had 4. So this is geschmack. 4 Shelaima for Yosef, Chaim, Shmuel, Ben Alte, Nechama from his grateful family. Masechta sponsor for the Atzlacha, Berukhniyos ובגשמיות. Masechta, Larry Cohn in memory of Yechiel Moshe Ben Chaim who started learning Daf Yomi at age 70 and continued for 32 years until he was nifter. The Masechta sponsor for the unity of the Jewish people. Masechta sponsored by Glenn Esterson with love and gratitude from Wilmington, North Carolina. You hear this? North Carolina, what did I say? With love and gratitude from Wilmington, North Carolina. Thank you for enriching my life with Torah. Glenn Esterson. Parnassa Chodesh. By the way, my siblings, they got that video of your son. It went around a little bit?
All over.
All over. Because they're viral. Cool. For the right thing. Leilui nishma Zechrya ben Moshe nishma Chaya bas Yosef. Parnassa Chodesh, Yosef ben Chaya, Sara for parnassa berevach. Parnassa Chodesh has zechus for our children, tremendous parnassa. Parnassa Chodesh, Leilui nishmat, Yav bat Simcha, Refuah Shelaima, Yisrael, Yaakov ben Malka. Parnassa Chodesh, Kidnovations LLC is back in honor of Uncle Elchanan Fishel, zechus for Akiva Simcha Ben Fayga, a shidduch for Yosef, Chaya, and thank you to Rebbitzen Stefansky. Parnassa Shavua, One, Elliot Hagler, in honor of completing my 5th cycle of the Daf, and Mike Katz, who just started the Daf. Parnassa Zaidran Kagan, L'zeich Nishmas, Rezel Bas Alte Shloimo Zelig. Parnassa 2 of them by the same person. Marvin Diamond, 9th yahrzeit of mother. Sanya Diamond, Sara Etya Bas Avram, 12th of Tevis. And the second one, listen to this, Rabbi Say, this is crazy. Marvin Diamond, 40th yahrzeit of his father. It's the 9th yahrzeit of his mother, the 40th yahrzeit of his father, Paul Diamond, Pesach Tzvi, Ben Avram Tzvi, the 12th of Tevis. He could have gotten away with one sponsorship for both, but one is a mother, one is a father, both nifter on the same exact day. 12th of Tevis. For zechus, for Rebelli, and the whole MDY staff to continue to make Torah so enjoyable for so many, and the second art of the month in honor of Yossi Klein and Mark Ashkenazi for all the work that they do. Boys, I give all the kedaf. I got the dish. We're holding. Oh, we have the live guys in Lakewood and in Flatbush. So this is Lakewood. Shalom Aleichem, guys. What time is it? Like 1 in the morning?
Flatbush, no?
No, this looks like Lakewood. This is somebody's house. So what's his name? I don't know, it's Lakewood.
95 people on Zoom.
Where's that?
95 people on Zoom. Yesterday in the Hebrew Shir, over 100 people on Zoom and 50 people on YouTube.
Flatbush.
And this is Flatbush. Shalom Aleichem, Flatbush.
Wow, look at that.
Nice. Very, very nice. Gewaldig. Shkoyach for the chizuk, Rabbi Say. It's not easy for you guys. What time is it? 12 or 1? 12:20. We're not going to be done until 2 o'clock. We're in a long haul. It's a gewaldig daf. Okay. Omar Rav Yehuda. We're holding 4 lines from the bottom of Amud Beis. Omar Rav Yehuda. Stam Roya Posel. We spoke about who's Posel Eidos and for Dayanos, people that have problems with money. They have money issues. Some people they see money, they can't control themselves. It's like that's their bad habit. They take it. So a roya also has a money issue because he sees free grass, he sends his animals there. So without even knowing if he's a good guy or not a good guy, we're going to say he's posel. It's posel leidos, stam gabay. But a person who collects taxes on behalf of the non-Jewish government or parrots, we'll call them in those days, it was a parrot, a guy in charge of a certain section, could be the king, could be anybody. A guy like that, stam, without knowing if he's a bad guy or a good guy, kosher. Says Gemara a story about a good tax collector. Avod Reb Zera, the father of Zera, Obad Gabi Yusuf Tleisa, he collected taxes for 13 years. When the parrots, we'll call him, would come to the city, so Reb Zera's father would see a Talmid Chacham in the street. He would say, "Oh my Lahu, lechami boy b'chadorecha." Here, look at this pasuk. Lechami boy b'chadorecha. Who's good the loscha b'avadecha? Chavi kemadrega, chavi kemadrega. Let's hear you. I want to hear you, no. So, I'll sing solo. With my chorus voice.
Amazing.
Shkoyach. The Olam got scared. You saw? A little threat.
Why don't you play it? You used to play it. You played that.
What do you mean I played it?
It's Shwek's song. You played it. You didn't, I was for sure
Really?
playing.
This was the most famous possible.
I played it in my house during Corona.
Song.
All right, so then could we sing it together then? One more time, we're going to try now. Everybody together. Leichami boy bachad olevecho. Goy eloscho badecho. Chavim kemadrega. Chavim kemadrega. You should hide for a minute. Yavoy zohar. All right, shkoya, beautiful. Givaldik. Lechami boy b'chadorecha was a hint. Chavi kimat rega. Go hide for a moment until this parrot leaves, and then we can have a lower.
Now do the hype. Take it away.
You have a chazi inchi de masa, but if you saw regular people, now you don't know if the guy's gonna snitch on you or not, so you can't be that direct. You can't tell him go hide. So you say Reish Nahara Asla Masa. the parts are showing up to him. He might kill you right in front of your son. Bro, lepum abba. You might kill a son in front of a father. You do whatever you want to do with this pasuk. And everybody would run and hide. So when the parts showed up, who are you going to collect? Look, we have an empty city here. Nobody lives here. When Rav Zera's father was nifter, as he's going, he said to his family, I had 13 coins that I left in a little pouch. What happened was, what happened was, he got the taxes from the whole city, but he missed one guy. He gave the parrots all the taxes. Then he went to the guy and said, give me the taxes. How much were the taxes? 13. He goes to the parrots is gone. Or the parrot said, you know what? I see you're an honest guy, just keep it. So he told his family, I don't want to keep it. It's not mine. It belongs to the guy, the Jew that gave it to me. Give it back to him. So you see that was super honest. He could have just kept it and nobody would know the difference. So Stam, tax collector, is kosher for Eidos. So if you look in the Mishnah, here's the Mishnah. In the beginning, we'd call them the gatherers of Shemitah. It's like a little riddle. What is going on here? Mishrabo Anosim, when there's a lot of forceful people, they call them merchants. What's pshat? So Gemara gives us two pshatim. Micah Omar, what's going on here? How do you resolve this riddle? Omar Rav Yehuda Achik Omar. This is what it means. Anybody that collects fruit on Shemitah, you're not allowed to work the land, you're not allowed to sell anything. There's an Issa D'Oraisa to sell the fruit. Does anybody here know when is it mutter to sell fruit on Shemitah? Not if you were here last night, like this tzaddik is there for 2 shiurim. There's a much better one. I could sit and sell fruit on Shemitah. I have a real heter. Open up a stand and sell. No, here in Eretz Yisrael. So we're going to see soon. But it says in the pasuk, la'achla v'loy l'schayra. You eat it, you don't do business with it. So in the beginning, people that used to gather Shemitah, we said they're kosher, soichim psulim, but if they're businessmen, they're dealing with it, they're selling it, it's possible. They're possibilities. Again, this is somebody that has a weakness with money. People that have weakness with money, they take things, they sell things that they shouldn't sell. Then you could also bribe them with a little money to lie in their testimony. So they're possibilities. They're possible as judges. There are judges, dayanim, that if you go to the right place, chas v'shalom or whatever, there's people, with a little money, you could bribe them, a little money. You give them $20,000, all of a sudden, it goes like this way. Lo yaleinu. There's such a thing. Everywhere, every community has its flaws, and that's one of them. Money is a problem. You can bribe people. They said anybody that collects fruit, you go from field to field, that's mutter. But people got smart, and they said, you know what? We're going to take the poor people, tell them to go collect free fruit. We'll pay them, and then we'll start making business here. They'll do it for us. They'll do the dirty work for us. They'll go to all the fields, collect, and we'll give them a little money. And Aniyim would go and collect and bring it back. So they established a rule, whether or not if you gather a lot of fruit, psulan, you are possible to be made. Koshu ba b'nei Rechava. So b'nei Rechava asked the question. Now I'm going to ask you, who is b'nei Rechava? Anybody know who b'nei Rechava is? So when you don't know who these people are, where do you go? You go to Sanhedrin Daf Amud Beis. Very good. And you go to this board, and you look who b'nei Rechava is. I'm going to go quickly. I know where it is. You see, it says over here, Eifa v'Avimi are b'nei Rechava. They're also known as Charifi de Pumbedisa. Yeah? So again, if you don't know who certain people are, you go to Sanhedrin Daf Zayin. So it says the Gemara, Oy, Hai Mishurabo Anosim, the Lashon doesn't work here. Anosim means forceful. Who exactly is forcing who to do what? People are paying the poor to go collect money. They're not anosim, they're not forcing anybody. what it should say is Misharabu Hatagarim Bayalei. They should talk about people that are doing a lot of businessmen, a lot of people are doing business, the Soichrim. Ella, I have a new pshat. In the beginning they said, whether you're gathering fruit, whether you're selling fruit, you're pasaleidos. Misharabu Anasim, when people that were forcing. Umayninu, who's forcing? Arnoina. The guys that are coming in, the goyim that are coming in to ask for money. Rabbi Yanai said a crazy halacha here. So, mamish, I don't think anybody knew this halacha. He told the Jews, Poiku, Zaru, B'Shviz, Mishum Arnoina. You're allowed to go plant on Shemitah year to pay this Arnona. Chazul so what's pshat? Why are you allowed to? So look at Taisus here. Taisus has been Toimar. How are you allowed to do this? This is the Raisa. Says Taisus Shloimar, the Mayri B'Shviz B'Zman Hazeh the Rabbanon. First of all, in our days it's the Rabbanon. Second of all, the Bikuach Nefeshu Sheshoylem HaMelech Mas Ve'en Lema Yifareh Umeisim B'Tfisa HaMelech V'Achit Merbishalmim Shem Chayin Nefesh. So another pshat is Bikuach Nefesh. You allowed to. Super interesting halacha that I saw. They asked the Chazon Ish. Well, they actually sent a letter to Reb Chaim Oizer. He was the Gadol Adar in Europe. They said, Klal Yisrael is not surviving. In Eretz Yisrael, they don't have food. Can they plant and work the fields on Shemitah? So he told them, go ask the Chazon Ish. So somebody called the Chazon Ish. He was trying to get them used to the Chazon Ish. Chazon Ish came to Eretz Yisrael. Nobody knew who he was. He was an Nifter. And they went to ask the Chazon Ish. I couldn't believe it. The Chazon Ish says, this heter that the Gemara gives to go, Rabbi Yanai says, go plant on Shemitah, is only when you're forced by the guy. When there's a gzeira of a guy. But if you have your own issues, it doesn't give you a heter to be over this of Shemitah. I mean, obviously, if it's pikuach nefesh, you let it. But if it's not pikuach nefesh, just because people are struggling, doesn't give you the heter. The heter comes, and he proved it. From there, I know it's hard to understand, as he zokter. Says the Gemara, so first of all, they said you're allowed to plant for our noina. But those who gather are kosher for edus, but those who deal with it are apostle. If you gather because it's just for your chayin nefesh, so you're kosher. If you're trying to make business, then you're apostle. Says the Gemara, a moiridik amaisa. It's a long one, a good one. Reb Chiya bar Zanoiki, Reb Shimon ben Yoitzadek, Avika Azla B'Shana Ba'asya. Reb Chiya bar Zanoiki, two Amoraim, they went to add another month to the year in Asya. Where is Asya? Is it? It's not Asia, because Asya would be with the Aleph. This is with the Ayin. So where is it exactly? So it says Taisves, okay, so Taisves establishes right away it's Chutz La'aretz. And all the way at the end of Taisves, he says something interesting. He says, they didn't go to actually add another month. They went to calculate. And then he says, because later on in the Gemara, it's going to talk about a Kohen v'charish, that a Kohen was plowing on Shemitah. So we learned already, you don't add another month on a Shemitah year. You don't extend Shemitah. Shemitah is problematic. People don't have what to eat. So why would you add another month? So you're not allowed to add another month during Shemitah. It's a raya that they weren't going to add another month. They were just doing the calculations for the year after. So, Asi is in Chutz La'aretz. They're going to Chutz La'aretz. Says Rish Lakish, can I come for a little ride? They say, yeah, sure, Rish Lakish, why not? Paga Bahur Rish Lakish itpel ba'adayu. Rish Lakish bumps into them and he says, I want to come with you. Omar, I would love to see firsthand how they add another month to the year. On their way to Chutz La'aretz, they pass by a field and they see a Jew plowing the field. Omar Lohen, so Rish Lakish tells the two Amoraim, Kohen v'charish. It looks like this guy is a Kohen and he's plowing a field. We got to do something about it. Amar Loi, Yochel Loimar, Agistavon ani b'soichai. The Jew could say, it's not my field. I'm working for a non-Jew. I'm allowed to do it. Or I need food to live. He has a good excuse. I could be melamed zechus on this guy. Two chazye, they continue and they see a guy pruning a vineyard. On Shemitah, you're not allowed to deal with it. You're not allowed to prune trees on Shemitah. Omar lehen, kohen v'zomar. I think the guy is a kohen. As the Gemara is going to explain, kohanim are not so careful with Shemitah. I think he's a kohen and he's pruning. We could be Melamed Zechus. Yachaloymar le'ekel beis habad ani tzarech. This is an ekel beis habad. It's that net that you put in the olives, and then you crush them like this. So I need a few little twigs to make this this ekel thing. He's not trying to prune the olive tree or whatever, the grapes. He's doing it for something else. He needs wood to make a basket. Shlokish wasn't so happy with this. What are you being melamed zechus? Some people are doing averis. Amar lahem, halev yudem le'ekel im la'kalkalos. So he played with the word. He says, you're saying it's ekel, I think it's a kalkalos. He's being crooked. These guys are being no good. Okay, but the guy's being over the rice. The guy is being Mechal Shabbos.
Ask him what he's doing.
Okay.
Ask him.
Listen. So we're going to see. He has a good tie in Rish Lakish. We'll see in a second. As a side note, what happened first? So the Gemara brought the story that they saw somebody plowing on Shemitah, and then they saw somebody pruning. The Gemara is going to say, in fact, it happened in reverse. I don't know why it's so important, but the Gemara goes into it. Hayom Elu Bereisha. What?
And he proves that when the Natia is more kaf chayva.
Yeah.
At least ask him why he's doing it.
They're not going to go start asking.
Why not?
Okay, fine. Hey, Amar Lubereisha. Which one happened first? The plowing or the pruning? Sometimes you see a frum guy, with a white shirt, driving down the street on Shabbos. So he's going on a call, his wife has to give birth. You see a guy plowing a field on Shemitah, okay, whatever the situation is, whatever neighborhood you live in, you chap what's going on. Now, if the pruning happened first, if the plowing happened first, so let them just answer the same answer in both cases. Plowing happened because he works for a guy. Pruning happened because he works for a guy. First he used the excuse, they used the excuse of he's making a basket. Basket doesn't work on plowing a field. So they had to say another excuse. Why do you say it seems like this guy's a Cohn? Kohanim have a problem with Shemitah. So what's the problem with Shemitah? What exactly do they do? So says Rashi, there's a concept called Zman Bir. Zman Bir means every fruit, every whatever produce, let's say it's wheat, you're allowed to keep it in your house on Shemitah. You're allowed to have a lot of wheat in your house up until a certain point called Zman Bir. So let's say wheat is up until, I'm just making it up, until November, which is not, and apples is until December. Every fruit has its own time, and we base the time on the animals outside when they stop eating the wheat, when they stop eating the oranges off the tree. Kohanim, they don't care about the Zman Bir so much. Why? So Rashi says, because psychologically they feel they're different. Like every other Avera in the world, people are moyer heter. They come up with their own excuses. What's their heter? Since a kohen is allowed to eat truma, you hear Avremi? Kohanim a moyer heter. The chasher on Shemitah, he's a kohen, Avremi Cohn. They say, we could eat kachim. We're above everybody else. We could eat truma. No. So we have the Kedusha of Shemitah in our house. We continue. Azoi sagt, this nan, I'll prove it to you. Here we have a few pictures here. You have 100 pomegranates. This is mamish, one of the shivas haminim, real truma, chulin. So 100 not shvius. Yeah, okay, this is shvius, but yes. But the point is, they're chulin, meaning this is good for everybody to eat. You don't have to be a kohen to eat this. Truma is the 1 or 2% that you take off the top and you give it to a kohen. Now what happened was, this guy's going with his truma, this kohen, and you saw that? One pomegranate fell into the pile. So because it's 100 chulin pomegranates, the halacha is, we don't have a batal barov when it comes to truma. When you have the 1% of truma that only a kohen could eat, you can't say, 51% is truma. You need 100 to 1. You need 100 non-truma pomegranates to make the one truma pomegranate mutter. Let's say Here it goes again. It fell. This is mutter. Tala means you're allowed to eat it, you're allowed to sell it. What about if it's only 99? What do you do then? And one pomegranate fell in? You think a Cohn can eat it. A Cohn cannot eat it. You're rakfu. They go bad. Ask the Gemara why. Give it to a Cohn. Sell it to a Cohn. What's the problem? You see that Kohanim are not careful with Shemitah. This is on a Shemitah year, and all this stuff is Shemitah stuff. They're going to keep 100 of these pomegranates in their house. After the Zman beer, don't give it to them. Let it just spoil. Says Gemara, one fell into 100, Tala, you're allowed to sell it. Pakas Mikan, you're rakful. Anything less than 100 to 1, you have to let it sit and spoil. Why? Just sell it to a Kohen and take off the one pomegranate, however much value one pomegranate has, you have to give it to him anyways. It's truma, so take that amount off. And when you sell stuff to a Kohen, it's cheap. Kohen gets a good price because there's a lot of truma out there. What?
You can't sell Shemitah.
Oh, ask Avi Kamiansky, you can't sell Shemitah. So says Taisus over here, Vim Toimar, V'as alas zechus b'perish shvius, Kedarim sechus avidizar la'achla v'loy l'zechus. This is what I asked before. V'shleima the zechus haynu kishomoicha b'shuk. If you sell it as a store, that's also kein chanus the dom of the zechus. Aval pamachas. One time, kenak roi ba'alma look at mishum zechus. Rashi says, look at Rashi. Rashi says the mutta. You could also look in the screen. The mutta limko shvius amanas lechol hi v'domeh koydem abir. Rashi gives up another answer. You're allowed to sell it in order to eat. If someone needs to eat something, you're allowed to sell it to him. If you use up the money before the beer time, interesting heterim that we didn't know before. Why can't you just give it to the Kohen for cheap? You see that Kohanim have a Shemitah problem. They have a little Shemitah Yetzirah, and they eat. Shalom Aleichem, all the guests. Shalom Aleichem to you all the way in the back. Shalom Aleichem to, I saw a guest here somewhere. You're kind of new, no? Not really? Shalom Aleichem, what's your name? Koplowitz. From? Passaic. Ascension Street. You live next to Shalom Aleichem. What's your name in the back? Fall from? Far Rockaway. Another place that I used to live in. Small world. What?
No, your brother.
You know my brother, Refuah. Givaldik. Send him regards. Actually, he'll get regards before this year is over already. Okay, Givaldik. Amru. So now these two Amoraim, Reb Chibar Zanoik and Reb Shimon Ben Yotzadok, they had enough of Rish Lakish. He's driving us crazy. This guy is a Shemitah guy. This guy is what's going on here? Amru Troidahudain. In English, Nudnik. This guy's a Nudnik. We had enough of him. So they had a trick. I don't know if I should say the story. I said another story, you weren't here. Your favorite story, and we had a pshat to it, it's murder, but I'll tell you afterwards. Real quickly, when I learned the Passaic, okay, I'll tell you real quickly because it's from Passaic. It's not a nice story, so Magachir, I have to be careful. But when I was young and dumb, I was probably 16 years old or 17 years old. Some of the guys, they rented a car, and we went on a trip to Washington, basically. Okay, so one of the guys in yeshiva, he didn't want to be part of it. He said it's too much money, the car, but he was able to give us a place to sleep. He said, I want to help you out. You could stay by my uncle's house. I said, Givaldik. We get to his uncle's house. Shalom Aleichem, he's there. This guy that helped us out and doesn't want to be part of the car. I said, what are you doing? Yeah, I happen to be here. The next morning, we get up early to go to Washington. The guy's sitting in the car already. So, but you didn't pay for the car. He says, Zenahen of Zilachasar. I'm not moving. I said, but it's kind of tight in here. I'm not leaving. Kitzer, we get to the White House. So he says, no. So we said we want to go first to the. He says, no, we're going to the White House first. He starts telling us where to go. So you didn't pay. You're Zenahen of Zilachasar, Nick, and you're telling us where to go. So I tell the guy, the driver, I said, yeah, let's go to the White House, but tell this guy to go check the line. Kitzer, we get to the White House, and I said, it could be there's a big line here. His name was Aaron. I'm not going to say his last name. I already asked him, Mechila. He didn't even remember the story. What? No. His father wrote massive Sfarim in Lakewood. Anyways, he's a big Sfarim dealer in Lakewood. I'm not going to go into it. Nobody knows what I'm talking about. He's a great guy. I'm good friends with him. She gets out of the car. I don't know why these older guys were listening to the 6 minutes. I said, floor it. Gets her the whole day. We're going around, but we're a little nervous. Whatever happened to him? So we get back to Baltimore, and we looked for him in the streets of Washington. We couldn't find him, Nebuch. So anyways, we get, what's cell phone, money. We get back to Baltimore, and then we're doing a whole barbecue. I said, but this guy's going to show up soon. We're in big trouble. What do we do? So I can't, the same Russia that threw him out, I said, we have to go on the offense, not on the defense. We have to say, where were you? We're looking at you. Your mamash ruined our trip. The guy shows up at 10 o'clock. He shows up all, how did he get back? He found rides and things. I said, what did you do to us? We're looking, where? He says, I don't know. I went to look to the front of the line, and then I went to ask the guard, and by the time, I don't know, you were gone. I said, but your mamish the whole day. He says, I'm asking Mechila. Maybe that's why he's Meichel me. At the Amazay doesn't chap, we left him over there. Anyways, this is what happened there. Mamish the same story. Do not learn from the story. It's a nerdy story. But even when you're such a rush, you can become a Magachir later on if you do tshuva. They had a great idea. He says, okay, let's go up into the attic. Come, Rish Lakish, hold on 1 second. We just need to go up for a second. And then as soon as they got in, they grabbed the ladder and bye-bye.
Hide the ladder trick.
And hide the ladder trick. And they did the Ibur Shana. Also came the Rabbi Yochanan, Omer Leis, he tells Rabbi Yochanan, Bnei Adam HaChashudim al Shvius Ksheim LaIbur Shana. He says, you sent these guys, Rabbi Yochanan, these are people that don't care about Shemitah. They let people plow fields on Shemitah, the Choshed on Shemitah. Hadar Amar, now Rish Lakish is having a discussion with himself. He says to himself, well, like Ashli, maybe it's not such a bad thing. These 2 Amoraim are nothing. They're like the 3 shepherds that we had in the sugya, that they had all cheshbonis, that we have to add another month. Maybe if it's too cold when the ox is really cold in the morning, but it's very hot in the afternoon, and he has to peel his skin, that's all right, you have to add another other. But nobody paid attention to them. They were just saying it. Chacham had their own little cheshbonis going on. The Rabbanon relied on their own mathematical calculations, not on a couple shepherds. So too, Rabbanon are going to be soimach on their own calculations, not on Reb Chia Bezer Noiki. Well, the Omar, then he continued the conversation with himself. Loidami, no, it's not a good shtelzu. Chosam hada ibnu Rabbanon v'abru laushato. Chacham took account and said, okay, who's gonna let's do an Iber year. But we disregard the shepherds. Hacha kesher rishoyimu. Over here we're using Reb Yochanan, Reb Chia Bezer Noiki, and Reb Shimon Baitzad. These are rishoyim. You can't even be mitzvah them to a minion because you're showing him in a minion. I saw a beautiful Noida B'Yehuda. Explains what's pshat over here. Why do you call him Rishayim? Mamish, it resonated with me so gewaldig. They're such tzaddikim. The milam tzchus on everybody. Oh, this guy, no, he's not a machal shmita. Why? Maybe he's hired by God. This guy, maybe he's making a basket. Mamish using kruma svaras on lekav tzchus. And all of a sudden, when it comes to me, Rish Lakish, all of a sudden, I'm a nudnik? Maybe I'm not a nudnik. Maybe I'm just a this and a that. Come up with an excuse for me. That not. For the Rishayim, for people that the Chavetz Chaim says they have to assume that they're doing Rishas, that you had good excuses. And me, Rish Lakish, how come not me? You know what? You're no good nick. When you're I told a woman I know, I said I'm gonna say in shir that I also know a woman who's always melamed zechus on her children, but never her husband. And she said, if you dare say it in shir, you're not coming back home. So if you say a word. It's not, no. I'm hacking. My wife is not like that. My wife is fakir. She's melamed zechus on me, not the kids. But your wives are like that. Oh, sorry. I'm not going to stand for this. You can't call my Talmidim Rishayim. That's too much. Because the Talmidim showed up. Rav Shlokish called us shepherds of cow shepherds, and you didn't make a macha.
Said to them?
No. Rabbi Yochanan told him. I don't know how. I know. He told him the story. So I don't know. That's a good shayla. I don't know. Yes. This is Torah. He asked them, "What's going on here?" Rish Lakish accused you of not saying anything. He wanted to know. He asked them, like you said, ask him. Vikar l'churei tzayin, and if Rish Lakish called you even worse than a bakar, tzayin is the worst because the smaller animals, they go and they graze on other people's fields. What should I tell them? I couldn't answer that either. You're problematic. You didn't make a macha on people that plow on Shemitah. My aminale. My Kesher Rishayim, how come Rish Lakish called them a band of Rishayim? Says the Gemara another story. Moirdik, Shevna Havel Darish B'Tleisa Rivasa. Shevna was a tremendous Rosh Hashiva. He had 130,000 Talmidim, but he's no good. Chizkiah, he's a smaller Rosh Hashiva. Havel Darish B'Chatzar Rivasa, only 110,000 Talmidim. When Sanhedrin came and put a siege on Yerushalayim, he wrote a piece of paper and he put it in an arrow, something like this. We want to give in, we want to make peace with you. But he had to add this. Get Chizkiah, he's the bad guy, he has 110, kill all those 110,000, not a problem, as long as you make me the king. Basically, you want to be king. The Rishayim, Shevna, will whatever it's called, Yidruchun Keshes. Will bend a bow, whatever, like, how do you say with a gun? You cock the gun, cock the bow. Have a commistif Chizkiah. So Chizkiah was really worried. Omar, maybe Akash Baruch Hu switched, changed a little bit, and he's going to go Basar Ruba, he's going to go with the majority, which is Shevna. Keeping the Ruba Mimsiri, they're giving themselves up. Inunami Mimsiri. They're also, how do you say give up in English? Surrender, or yeah, I guess surrender, something like that. Ba Navi Omer Lei. So the Navi came and said, Kosher. Don't be part of the group, don't be part of them. Kloimar. Kesher Rishayim. This is a band of Rishayim, the Kesher Rishayim, Eino min minyan. You can't even count them to a minyan. Do not be part of them. So that's where Rish Lakish got his language of Kesher Rishayim. So Shevna went and dug himself a grave as if he's a king right next to David HaMelech. What are you doing here? What are you doing here digging a grave? Hashem is going to give you a nice little ride. Basically, you're going to end up in Olam Emes pretty soon. Omar Rav, Tatula the Gavra, Kashim did this. If a woman has a hard time, she goes in the street, people will help her out. A man who has a hard time, nobody cares about him. What does these words mean? He got saras, Shevna. By Shevna it says oitcha atay. By the Mitzvah it also uses a lashon of yate. It says in the pasuk, interesting pasuk. It's like a riddle, like a rhyme. Circle like with a hat around your head. But look what it says at the end of the pasuk. Shama Samos, you're going to die over there. Shama Markvis Kedecha, Koloim Beis Adonecha. You'll die. Sheva, you're going to die. Tana, who bigish Koloim Beis Adonecha? He wanted to be the king. He wanted to get rid of Chizkiah. So his honor turned into something bad. Kavanofak Iu. So now he's giving himself up. He's surrendering. Imagine this. He's coming with 130,000 people, and he's in the front. They open up the gate to Yerushalayim, and he comes out. He slammed the door shut right behind him. Boom. He's by himself, 130,000 people behind him, behind the closed door. Daf Chavav Amud Beis. Amr Lei. So they said, where's the 130,000? Amar Hadrubi. They took it back. They don't want to come with me. Amr Lei. So they said to him, you're laughing at us. You think we're a joke. Nikvu Bei Kevav. Those days they used to know how to do like good torture. They made holes in the soles of his feet, and they tied the horse's tails in the holes. They made sure he doesn't die. They dragged him, but not just on the street on a nice sidewalk, on thorns. That's how he died. Slow, painful death. Shevna was very big into his taivas. We just had the story of by David HaMelech. They brought Avishag as a sechenes to warm. It was just taiva. He was very into his taivas, and that was his downfall. I have to say this. Turning to the daf. for Kavichi family. In honor of them, the White Daf champions, Leo Shamshi Shlafrak, Uncle Freddie, and Mr. Gross. The Refuah of our fearless leader and chief, Chaim Gavril Ben Sivilano, by the members of the Muncie Fire Department. I can't get over this number. 19 people in one fire department are doing the daf. And Yaakov Sitran. You know what I couldn't get over also? 8 people from his Gdud. 8 guys doing a daf in the crazy situations. In the middle of the night. With one Gemara. Mamish reminds me like of the lager, like one Gemara going around, one piece of matzah. Yaakov Sitran's films, strategic video production. Where's Mati when we need him? He's busy getting them goggles. He should get them Gemaras. Also, there's Gemaras for everybody. Artsbook is free Gemaras. We have piles of Gemaras. It says, this interesting lashon ki hashosais. What's hashosais? Rav Yehuda v'Ravena. Oh, who's Rav Yehuda v'Ravena? So if you don't know who Rav Yehuda v'Ravena is, where do you go to? Oh, you go to Sanhedrin Daf Yud Zayin, and you go like this. You go to this game, and you go to here. Rav Yehuda v'Ravena is Savid Pumpadisa. You see now how the game works. Throughout shots, you can use this game. So when the Gemara says Pumpadisa, it's Rav Yehuda v'Ravena. Chadomar ilu chizke v'siyati nerosim tzadik my paal. So we have 3 pshatim here. Ma paal, what did he do? 2 of them say it's referring to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Where was he, so to speak? You know, people have a question on the war. Where was the Hashem? 6 million Jews. So that's kind of the shayla here. Or it's going on Chizkiah. So ilu Chizkiah v'siyati nerosim. If 110,000 Talmidim and Chizkiah will die, tzadik ma paal. What did Hashem do? Interesting picture of the Beis Hamikdash, Yehoras. Check this out. If the Beis Hamikdash would be destroyed, tzadik ma paal. What does Hashem do? Another pshat is if Shevna's thoughts would come to fruition, and in Erasais wouldn't be destroyed, tzadik ma paal. What would Chizkiah do? So I could understand his thoughts, his desire is destroyed. It makes a lot of sense if we're talking about Shevna's thoughts. There's a stone called Evan Shasiyah. Some people say it's still there in Al-Aqsa over there somewhere. I don't know. Here it is. This stone. At least the Arabs think so. I think some of the archaeologists, they have all sorts of rights. Okay, not getting into it. L'saber Seinayim. Okay, there's something called Evan Shasiyah. That's the first stone of the world. The world was created based on that stone. So Evan Oisasham Mimoisa Nevim Rishayim Ushasiyah Oisa Nikris. So Hashasa the word Hashasa can mean a stone. But the third pshat of Ula that we're referring to Chizkiah and his 110,000 Talmidim. Where do we see that tzaddik is called Shasais, that the Torah refers to them as Shasais? I'll tell you where. Hashem made the pillars of the world. He founded the world on these pillars, on these tzaddikim. Hifli had a great ideas. Higdil to Yushia, and there's tremendous amount of wisdom. Toshia happens to be a yeshiva here in Eretz Yisrael. I asked Israelis, everybody, does anybody know which yeshiva is Toshia? Tifrach. This is yeshiva's Tifrach. If you want to see the inside, Rav Eliezer Pilz, one of the Gedolah yeshivas today. So I learned, not in this building because I was in Yeshiva Tana, but when I was 10, 11 years old, I learned in Tifrach.
It didn't look like
it. It looked pretty much, very similar. There's no air conditioning in those days. That I remember. There's no air conditioning. And the dorms were in caravans, so it's extremely, extremely hot in a caravan. So they used to pour that sprinklers on the roofs of the caravans to cool it down a little bit, that the heat of the desert, it's in the desert, very, very hot. The famous Gemara, that Torah is mateshes koichel shaladam. I wonder how many other times in Shas, I didn't look it up. Rish Lakish, you're right. Torah weakens a person. The Torah was given almost secretly that the Southern shouldn't make a protest because he felt, the Southern felt that it shouldn't be given to human beings. They're anyways going to sin later. Just words, things that you can't grab onto, they're not physical. But the words, HaKadosh Baruch created the world with words. The foundation of the world is based on words. Omar Ula. Interesting Gemara. It's counterintuitive. If you just read it like this, you wouldn't understand. You have to look in Rashi, you have to look in the art scroll. Machshava Mayelas means Machshava ruins a thought. What kind of thought? So we're talking about a thought, a negative thought. When people are consumed with their livelihood, with parnassa, it ruins Torah. You can't have in the same head a brain that thinks in Torah and also is constantly worried about his parnassa. Rashi goes into also saying of something interesting, that if a person says, I will finish X amount of daf by X amount of time, it's no good. But then the Gemara says, there's a caveat, if you do it L'Shem Shamayim, it works. How do I know it doesn't work? Shenemar meifer machshavis arumim v'lo yisasenu yedeim tushia. Baruch Hu does away with these bad thoughts. V'lo yisasenu yedeim tushia. Tushia is learning Torah, so bad thoughts ruin Torah. Omer Rabbi masukim l'shma enu mayelas. But if you do it l'shem shamayim, you do it l'shma, then it does work. Anybody else is counterintuitive. It does. Torah will stay. Shenemar. Rabbi's machshavas belev ish, v'atzas Hashem hisakom. If you do it for Hashem, hisakom will stand. Eitzas sheish bo dvar Hashem. If you think about, that's why Rashi maybe says that we're talking about an eitzah. He's thinking to himself, I'm going to finish X amount of daf by X amount of years, and he has a whole eitzah. But you do l'shem shamayim, hisakom lo'ilam will stand forever. Omer Rabbi Yudei Masai. So we said in the Mishnah, if a person gambles, a person plays dice, he's pasal eidos. Says Rabbi Yehuda in the Mishnah on condition that he doesn't have another job. In other words, he's not being productive in life. He's not being oisik b'yishuv shalaylam. Amar Rabbi Avo, Amar Rabbi Lazar. Halacha ke Rabbi Yehuda. The halacha is that we're not concerned about a smachta, about people stealing other people's money, taking a bet from somebody when he doesn't really mean it. He wasn't going to. No, we're talking about people that are not oisik b'yishuv shalaylam. Amar Rabbi Avo, Amar Rabbi Lazar. Kulan tzrichim achraza bebezdin. The only time a person's pasaleidos is if they get up in shul and they embarrass the guy. It's not gishmak. They bang on the bima. Ruvain is mafricha yoinim. Shimon, he has a gambling problem. He has no job. All he does all day is gambles. And they knock on the bima. And now, Bezdin, yeah, the bima of Bezdin. The machras. The whole world is going to know about this now. The whole world will know about it. That's the point of achraza. And that's the only way you can make somebody puzzle. But
nobody, you can't take them as Eidim. Everyone
no,
has to know.
But without achraza, they're not puzzle eidos.
That's the reason. Everyone shall know.
So what do you have to make achraza?
Make achraza, everyone should know.
Roya, if you have a shepherd, pligibo ravacha v'ravino chad omar boy achraza. When it comes to shepherds, so one says you have to announce v'chad omar le boy achraza. It's so famous, everybody knows that this guy's a shepherd. And obviously, if he's a shepherd, he's a no-goodnik. He lets his animals graze in private property. He's pasaleidos. If you don't need achraza, I understand when Rav says a shepherd is pasal. Why? Without achraza, he's pasal. Why? Because most royim are no good. Elaman da Omar, what?
Because they're all possible.
They're all pasal. But if you need achraza, my stam roy apostle. What's the why would you say that stam roy apostle if you need achraza? Says the Gemara, what he meant is the bestama machrizim alei. Even if you don't know for a fact that he let these animals graze in private property, you make achraza on them. And they're apostle. There was a gift that it was two edim, but they were both robbers. They both were gazlanim, ganovim. Sara paber Shmuel achshura. You want to say, listen, there's no klap on the bima and bezdin to say that these guys are puzzle, so these guys are kosher. We're talking about rabbanon dike gazlanim. What kind of gazlan? The guy that's mafriach yoinim, misach b'kubya. It's not in the Torah. So it's the rabbanon, so we have to notify people. Gazlan the raisa. What's the gazlan the raisa, Rabbi Isai? What's the gazlan the raisa?
Comes with a gun.
Grabbing something from somebody. Chaytef, he steals money right out of the guy's pocket. Everybody knows he's a ganav. You don't need to be machris. Simin dover v'arayis ganav. Omer Rav Nachman. Oichli dover acher. So usually throughout Shas, dover acher usually is referring to PIG. We don't even say the word. The Gemara doesn't even say the word. It doesn't call chazer. It's called oichli dover acher. Eating dover acher. Over here, the Gemara Rashi changes, or it says the explanation of the Gemara is different. It means when a guy collects money and takes money from a non-Jew. What's the problem with that? It's a chil Hashem. Psulim leidos. Why? Because basically you're announcing to the world the Jews cannot take care of their own. They need to go out. So the puzzle leidos. This is the famous Maisa, and I have a kasha here from the Gemara. Two guys were sitting in front of the, what is it called over there in Rome? The Vatican. One had a Magen David and one had a cross. And everybody walked by, gave the guy with the cross money and not the guy with the thing. So a guy comes by and says, I don't understand. You don't see nobody's giving you money. You're wearing a Magen David. Wear a cross and get money. He says, please don't tell the Cohn brothers how to do business. But the kasha is, you're not allowed to collect money. It's Mamshech El Hashem. That's the problem. The fact that he was wearing a cross. This is if he goes out in front of the Vatican and he announces that he needs money, he's Jewish. If nobody knows about it, not. You know, there's a lot of people there in Israel, don't take money from the government. Don't take money from the government. But if nobody knows about it. And also, if it's in public, we don't say he could make parnassa somewhere else. He could do it in a quiet way, and he goes in front of everybody and takes from the non-Jew. But if he needs the money, he's starving. So Mela,
only in public.
Right. If there's no way to do it, only in public. Well, it's not mamish like Shemitah, because over there the Chazanish said only when the goy is hurting you.
No, I'm talking about Zechus Nefashos, if you can't survive.
Yeah. If it's Zechus Nefashos, you're right. Even Shemitah, correct, 100%. You are right. Omer Rav Nachman, Achoshet al Arayis. Somebody, there's a rumor, we don't know for sure, there's a rumor that he did something wrong with Arayis. Chosher le'edus. Why is he kosher le'edus, Rabbi? You should know the answer. Why is he kosher le'edus? Because we said the problem is a person that has sticky fingers, that'll do anything for a buck, including false testimony. But a guy that has a taiva, he's over in Arayis, no connection. It doesn't mean that you'll give him $100, he'll say false testimony. Fakert. He's a big tzaddik when it comes to that stuff. Omer Rav Sheshes, Ani Mori, I don't understand. Answer me, Rebbe. We have to give this guy 40 malchus, 39 malchus. And he's kosher leidos. Why do you give this guy 39 malchus? Midrabanan. Malchus mardus, not midaraisa. We heard rumors about him. You have bad rumors. We're gonna even Rabbanan. Yeah, without Asra. Only the Rabbanan.
Malchus doesn't have any amount of malchus.
Wow. It's already 8:10. We got to run. Omar Rav Nachman lenient Edis Isha Shu Apostle, but when it comes to testifying for a woman, because he's a Baltaiva in that parsha, so now for that he's apostle. That's if he's testifying that she's divorced. Now we have to be choshedim because he's lying. He wants to marry her. But to be an aid by a chuppah, even this guy is kosher le'ed. There's a kasha on the Rosh Hashiva that threw me off the chuppah over there. Pshita, what's the shayla? Oh, so listen to this. There's an unbelievable Gemara here. No. I would think.
No.
I would think. I'm sorry, Roshi. I'm sorry. No. Hold on. I didn't say anything. Nobody knows what I'm talking about. Listen to this. What's a brown? No. It was a brown. It was for 400 people. He threw me off the thing.
Yeah, but you like
he said the word.
But you like
No, he said you're poseleidos. No, I said apostle rice is mutter. I said choshel rice is kosheleidos. Stefansky is poseleidos.
You liked it.
Weiter. Oh, weiter. Very good. Avremi, kol kavod. Now we have to also have the stempel of Ashi stempel. You have one? Let's see how it looks. Ashi approved.
Is there Nachman?
Of course there is. What's the Shayla? We're getting there. We're getting lot. What should it be? Nothing. Ashi approved. Okay. Listen to this Meshugana. He's going to pretend this woman is married, and he's going to marry her because stolen water is better. That's why a lot of people steal rugelach here in the morning. Stolen rugelach are better than rugelach you buy in the store. Oh, right there, I'm mamish obsessed. My little pet peeve. Listen to what he did. She's not even married. Rabbi say she's not married. He made up a story that she's married, so that in his mind he can marry a married woman, but she's not married. He just lied. He's testifying falsely that she's married.
Sickness.
That's the mamish see. Says the Gemara. Sorry. When she's available, then it's much better for him. But when he's not going to go so far. Fine, we'll stop right over here. Rabbi Sai, have a wonderful day.